Welcome to Nerdities. Bitches.
Greetings, fair Nerdities listeners. We bring you back once again to a breakdown of a classic franchise. I don't want to use the term in the opening because I want to let you know we're doing a Star Trek retrospective. I wanted to get that word down accurately, so I didn't want to use the word retrospective. Yes, we're doing the entire Star Trek theatrical release franchise.
Do not tell me that I do not love Joe Pravda.
No, you do. You do.
Yeah, because this couldn't have been a better group to do it, or lack of group.
Yeah.
Yes.
We were sitting here on Sunday, and I says to Mike, hey, what are we doing for retrospective this week? I don't know. And I was like, well, Vinny's not here. It's probably the perfect week to do Star Trek, so it doesn't get fucked.
I'm very happy you said theatrical because we're not talking about
the one you seem to hate.
The one-off, the awful one-off that got built up so much.
We have very strict parameters on this concept. It didn't get into a theater for at least a day, and I'm pretty sure that didn't.
No God, thank God.
We are covering all 13 of the Star Trek films in this Trek retrospective. No time like the present to jump feet first, because that's smart. You don't jump head first into these things. Jump feet first. Test the waters. With 1979's?
Yes.
1979's Star Trek The Motion Picture. A.K.A. Star Trek The Masturbation.
Star Trek the Space Odyssey.
So, Star Trek The Tracking Shot.
The staring at the screen.
Yeah. 30 minutes of look at this beautiful ship.
You gotta watch the director's cut. There's extended scenes of them looking. But
there's legitimately another 10 minutes at the beginning of just music.
It's nothing. You don't even see stars. It's just music.
One or two of them blow past your face every minute and a half. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what they were thinking at all with this deal. Especially since it only came to be because Star Wars came out and they're like, oh, sci-fi is cool again.
Yes and no.
They were trying for a while.
They were trying. Star Trek Phase 2 was supposed to happen. And Roddenberry couldn't get it off the ground, so he took aspects of what he was trying to do with Phase 2 because Star Trek was killing it in syndication. It had a resurgence. So he was trying to do another series, and it just never taken off. He had like characters like Commander Sona, who died in the transporter accident, and Ilea were actually part of the crew in Phase 2. And it was a whole nother crew. Decker and everybody were supposed to be there, but it was played by a different person, and it just never happened.
But he was already going for a Next Generation thing?
Yeah.
But in the same kind of time frame?
It would have been right after the 5 years.
Okay. So I kind of like, the one thing I do like about it is they tracked with time accurately. Like it was 15 years or so.
Yeah.
Since the journey was over. That's the one thing I could say I like about this.
I do have to say the 4K remastered edition, the visuals are beautiful. The way they did V'ger is pretty spectacular.
Yeah, but
talking about the look still.
But is that how you originally saw it? Is what it comes down to?
No. The original scene was a fucking cloud.
Yeah.
It was Galactus before Galactus.
Yeah. And when you get inside, it's just 60s technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally a satellite from the 60s.
Yeah.
But that's not the movie, though. The movie is, 2 hours of hand job?
It's long.
Isn't it like 210, 212?
It's around there. I don't have the exact, but it's around there. It's a lot of nothing.
A lot of nothing.
Because he was definitely going for, 2001 Space Odyssey had a lot of shots with no dialogue and just looking.
Pretty models.
Yeah, but Roddenberry, this one, Roddenberry had out of all the movies, had the most hand in.
2 hours and 16 minutes. Damn, I'm fucking good.
Yeah, that's long.
Nice memory. Better memory
Positive-
than memories of the movie.
Positives with this movie is the dynamic of the crew.
I guess you could say that, but they insert 2 new characters in there that they never had any plans to build upon. And literally, by the end of the movie, these 2 fuck off together.
They do.
So it's like, what was the point of that? You're not expanding the crew. You're just giving them other characters to kind of interact with for a hot minute.
It was,
It's more of a proof of concept than anything else. Like, hey, we can make a Star Trek movie. You don't believe us? Here, we just made a Star Trek movie.
yeah, that's a good way of looking at that.
Okay. I'm going to get into numbers now.
Okay.
I'm going to give it a 30.
Okay.
Because I enjoy Trek. We've already seen how I grade things that I love.
Yes.
I love the Marvel movies, so I will not deny I'm going to score them a lot higher than everybody else is. Even the bad ones are kind of good for me.
So
No, it's
yeah.
I don't do pull, I lick hole.
Oh, Kevin Feige. Oh.
Mm-hmm. I'll sniff that hat. I'll sniff all those hats. So yeah, 30 for me. Because
30?
Trek, if I'm going to be loving Trek, it's got to be good Trek. Eventually get
Yes.
We get good Trek.
Yeah, there is good Trek.
Yeah.
Trek.
It's just,
So, one of my favorite lines for one of my favorite TV shows ever, from Space. I know Justin has watched Space. Have you ever watched Space, Joe?
Space?
It's
Spaced.
currently
Space?
it's currently on Prime.
Currently on Prime. It's Edgar Wright, Simon Pegg, and Nick Frost. Their show before Shaun of the Dead ever came out.
Uh-huh.
One of the best lines in that movie, in that show. One of the best lines ever. Sure as day is day, sure as night is night, sure as every odd-numbered Star Trek movie is shite.
That is a mostly true statement.
Yeah. I can't completely agree with it, but it's pretty on point.
It's mostly true.
Okay, so Justin, give me a number.
I'm gonna be a lot nicer to it than you were.
When it hurts, I hurt him back.
Ah. Hey, I don't know if it's definitely in my top 3 least favorite Star Trek movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say I'll give it about a 50.
Very kind.
So, we do have a video where I do get you guys to try to watch Star Trek, the motion picture. That's on YouTube right now, by the way.
I want to point out. I want to point out that right now, anybody who's been following this show since close to the fucking beginning heard me be positive and give an okay review for a very bad fucking movie.
It's not a great movie. I do have to admit, it is one of my guilty pleasure movies to watch because it's just...
It's got things.
It's filler.
It's got
literal
things. It is filler. I'm going to go with a 56 for it because of the dynamic of the crew, and one of my favorite lines from Dr. McCoy in any Star Trek movie is, "They drafted me."
45.33.
Yeah, it's not a good movie.
Many of them will go up from here, folks.
They should.
If you get anything from this, and you're not a Trekkie, if you get anything from this, it's the ones you should give time to. Maybe you should put them all on. I'm pretty sure they're all on Max.
Paramount.
They're all on the Plus.
They're all on Plus. They were on Max for a while.
Paramount has all of them.
Definitely. They definitely have all of them. If nothing else, put them all on in a row and dip into some of them. But some of them lock in on.
Yeah.
Do a marathon, and some of them you actually sit down and watch.
Oh, yeah.
Like the next one.
Oh, yeah.
You should sit down and watch. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. This is where it gets a lot closer to the show in structure.
It's crazy because it's a 180 completely different from Star Trek The Motion Picture.
Yeah. A lot better in pace. a lot better in focus, and it calls back to a character, something I wouldn't have expected them to do. Pulls a character back that only showed up one time.
Yep, one time.
But because he was so effective, it was a good one to pull back.
The crazy thing in this movie, you watch this whole movie. At no point in this movie is Khan and Kirk in the same place together.
Yep. You managed to have a protagonist-antagonist dynamic where they never interact physically, and it works.
The entire movie is a chess game.
Yeah. I've heard this described, and I think it might have been Kevin Smith. I don't know exactly who put it out there. Star Trek is best when it's presented as a submarine movie.
That's what it is.
And this one does that. And it isn't just like, oh, we're in space, we have to figure out how to fight these guys, and if our technology is better. No, there's a point toward the third act where they're like, our technology's fucked, their technology's fucked. Because we're both a bit beat up, and we're in this spot where it's hard to track each other. Just gotta go by feel. We gotta wait until we get an opening. And that's the most tense moment in any Trek ever.
Because you look at it, it's the Kobayashi Maru. That's the whole thing. It's the no-win scenario.
Yeah. It starts with a great Kobayashi Maru setup, and you think the entire crew is dead, but then no, it's just a test. And then you actually get that setup in real life. I use the giant air quotes. I'm going to go 85 on this one.
So, like, the early Trek movies, for me, are all kind of make my eyes itch. Like, some are far better than others, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's age too in which I've seen certain ones. Because I was a bit older when I watched Wrath of Khan. It's way better than the first movie.
Oh, yeah.
Leaps and bounds.
I will say 75.
Okay. I was expecting you, when you got that smirk, I was expecting you to really dog on it. But this is more than I thought you would give. And about where I hoped you'd give.
Again, I'm not a Trekkie, but I do enjoy some good. Well, like Next Gen was my shit.
Yeah.
And again, when the age you were while you're watching it, like you were watching it week to week, I'm guessing.
Yeah, oh fuck yeah.
Yeah. So it's perfect for a young person who's intelligent.
So Wrath of Khan, to me, was such a. I could always watch that. No matter what it's on, I can always sit and watch it. Like if it's going, I loved the introduction of Savick. R.I.P. Kirstie Alley. The fact that we got Kirk's son, Carol Marcus. We got a whole different side of Kirk who didn't want to age. He did not want to celebrate his birthday.
Yeah, he was going through his Peter Pan syndrome.
Yes.
He's basically midlife crisising.
Yeah. And
it has the best example of the Kirk, Spock, McCoy dynamic.
Oh yeah.
Of any of those, like they set it up in the show. Well, you might say 5 has a good example.
That's where you knew I was going to go there.
But that only exists because of this. My 2 favorite scenes in all of the early Trek stuff is where they're sitting there and he tells them about Genesis, and they have that classic Trek fundamental argument about technology, that science fiction conversation, and then right before that, where Kirk goes into Spock's room and talks to him. Like, that cements their relationship. That's just an incredibly well-written moment, incredibly well-performed.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Yeah.
Or the one.
Yeah.
Like, and that ending. The ending of that movie was such a gut punch, but...
Yeah. Probably the most emotional moment in all of Trek until the Kelvin opening.
Yes.
We'll get to that much later.
I will give this movie a 91.
The one the 91, I don't quite
91.
get, but all right. I'm not going to tell people how to do their thing.
I had to say the needs of the many outweigh the few.
Yeah. The one.
The one.
83.6666 continuing.
Nice.
That's fair.
That's good.
Fair. That's pretty damn fair. I have a feeling the next one not going to fare as well, because once again, it's an odd number Trek movie. This might be one where I put the top of the pops up there, because Search for Spock isn't a great film. It was literally made just to get McCoy or Nimoy back into the fold.
Because they let him direct.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was, how do you want to, if you're going to come back, how are we going to get you to come back?
Three
for
and 4.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because 3 did well, so they gave him 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in most of the movie, and I want to direct. That's how you're going to get me back.
But
Literally only shows up for the last, 15, 20 minutes, and only has lines in the last 5. And only, 2 lines.
the saving grace for this movie was Christopher Lloyd's Krug. He was such a fucking... He probably was one of the most bad, in Star Trek terms, villainous antagonist.
Well, this was the first time you got Klingons after the show.
No, they were in the beginning of Star Trek: The Motion Picture. They were the first ones to get featured.
A focal point, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is where they really start to define them.
Yes.
And who they were.
Yes.
The notions of honor and glory and conquest.
Yes.
And that his performance really starts to inform who the Klingons are.
Yeah.
And he's a bastard. He's such
Yeah.
That opening bit where he's talking to the woman who gets him Genesis info, and he's like, "Oh, did you look at it?" "Yeah, I did." "Ah, sucks to be you, babe."
Yep.
She's like, I get it. I gotta go. You gotta take me out. I gotta go. That's hardcore Klingon. I give this one a 75. Because it's not the best ever, but I have a soft spot for a lot of it. It's one of the best Kirk fight scenes. As the planet's falling apart.
Yeah.
That's the only reason it's getting a 70.
Very kind of you.
This one was one of Shatner's best performances in Star Trek.
Yeah.
The scene where he has to listen to his son get stabbed and doesn't know who died.
Well, yeah, where they put the communicator in front of Savik's mouth, and she just Vulcans it.
Yeah.
She I guess it's the best way to do something like that. Just, Captain, David is dead. Just straight up. Here's the info.
And Shatner's his whole demeanor after that point completely changed. You could see him taking everything out on Krug during that fight scene.
Yeah, I mean, it suffers from a shit plot.
Yes,
but
that's where it happens.
But he toning back his normal Shatnerousness when it came to the performance in this one. It's much appreciated. It might be my favorite of all the odd numbers, maybe, at least for the original cast.
I could feel that.
Because they had a run there in the middle where they knew what was going on. They were making them back to back to back.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of time in between, so it was all right, we the rust is off. We've got our flow going, and there's some missteps. Cool, sure, but it's handled well, and it's got a pretty great cast too. Everyone forgets John Larroquette's in this fucking movie.
John Larroquette. Michelle Nichols had the biggest role she's had so far in a Star Trek movie in this one.
Did she? Because she shows up in the beginning and then disappears for most of the action.
She had more of but she wasn't just a background character in this. She actually had something to do.
I kind of feel like they sidelined her more than any other movie in this one.
This
Final Frontier, at least they let her show some TNA.
Well, to this point.
Yeah.
To this point. I will give this movie a 75.
I knew it. Okay, I knew it was going to be an odd number, but I didn't think it would be one that made sense.
There are highlights in this movie, like the destruction of the Enterprise. You told me you would kill me. I lied.
Yeah. There's a lot of positivity going on in this one, despite itself. It's one of those it's fun despite itself kind of movies. All right, and then things kind of get wacky for Star Trek 4. But I might have the softest spot for any of them of this when it comes to this one, because it comes to modern times.
Bruh.
When I say modern times, I mean 40 years ago. Holy shit!
Oh man!
What is Trek without time travel?
But bro,
and,
space
why are we time traveling?
whales.
Fucking whales.
Fucking
Whales.
space whales.
It's the only one that people don't call by name. Everyone calls it Wrath of Khan, Motion Picture, Search for Spock, the shitty one that Shatner directed, and I'm just going, no, this is the one with the whales.
The one with
it's the fucking Friends title.
Yep, Star Trek, the one with the whales.
Yeah. But yeah, Voyage Home. This might be the first one I ever saw as a kid, because it came out right when my parents were starting to be like, oh, you should check this out. Like, I was at that age where I could understand shit like this.
Yeah.
And the humor in it was right up my parents' alley. Like, there's so many good jokes in it that work well. Them just walking around San Francisco, not understanding what the world is like at this period, like having an inkling of what the world was like, because so much info was lost. They're just kind of like playing it by ear. It all break. That's why I say this one is the one where Nichelle Nichols had the most to do.
Yes, but yeah, this probably. Well, yeah, this is. Yeah, I agree.
Scotty, everyone gets a really great moment. Well, maybe not as much. Sulu was supposed to have a really cool moment in this one.
He was. I hate the fact that was cut and those scenes have never seen the light of day.
Yeah. If anyone should get a tweak, should get some kind of director's cut, I don't know if you know this, Justin. Sulu was supposed to meet one of his ancestors.
Yes.
What, really?
Yes.
Yeah. There's a scene where he meets a young Japanese kid, and he has to help him with something, or the kid helps him with something, and he finds out the kid's last name is Sulu.
Why the fuck didn't that happen?
Right? It's not a long scene,
No.
and everyone else gets a real good moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All he gets to do is fly the helicopter, which, hey, cool. Fly the helicopter and wear a really tight leather jacket.
Yeah, it was tight.
Oh my.
I think that's one of my favorite things about this movie, too. They're not in uniform.
Yeah.
Most of them aren't in uniform. They're just kind of... I don't mind people looking uniform. Yeah. But my favorite groups are like the Avengers and X-Men. Groups that, like, each person has their own style that doesn't necessarily conform to one look.
Unless it's the movie.
Yeah, then it's all just fun.
Did you know this movie was the first Star Trek piece to feature a non-white captain?
Which captain was that? The captain who calls and he's like is
Major Sinclair, the mom from Coming to America. It plays the captain.
She was a captain?
She was a captain.
Because there's another dude, too, I think he might be, like, Indian or Pakistani, who gives a call at one point. Like, it's a real close-up of him, and it's, like, fading in and out. I don't remember if he was a captain, or if he was, like, another executive officer.
Yeah, the one who said we were having our air supply, our life support systems are failing.
Yeah, and the tracking on his VCR was off.
Yeah.
I remember having to fix tracking. Yeah.
80s kids. So yeah, this one I give a bit more love than Search for Spock. The whole whale thing, like this
The
one,
fucking whales,
made me
dude.
appreciate whale sounds. And the time travel sequence was the first trippy visual I ever saw.
Yeah.
That was extra strength trippy. Go back and watch. Like, check that. There's got to be a clip online, folks. Go check out the Star Trek 4 time travel sequence. It is fucked, visually fucked. And it does one of those weird things where you're hearing elements from later on in the movie as it's happening. So it's messing with time. Like, they're experiencing time in an odd way. I give this one a solid 80 because it came out in the 80s.
Okay.
I love whales. 81.
Well, yeah. What is this Price is Right bullshit? What are you, Kyle now? We can't have the same number for any of them?
Yeah.
I will go with 85 on this one. It's a great movie. It had a lot of heart. The ending, you know, he he got his ship back. They threw the book at him, but they decommissioned him. And
The galaxy has long known that the Vulcans are merely the puppets of the Federation.
Oh, yeah, that opening court scene was good.
I barely gets edged out by Wrath of Khan. We got a solid 82 for this one. I think that fits. That's
fair.
Nice. Voyage Home did very, very well. And it's going to need to do very, very well to maintain the average, because coming up next, we get Shattered Upon.
Ooh, Final Frontier is a rough fucking movie.
It is. Do you ever read the story of what was supposed to happen? Because this movie was plagued by the writer's strike, just a lot of reshoots.
Yeah. It's like a modern day, like, fucking DCEU movie.
Yeah, he wanted to go in one way, and they're just like, nah, you should do this, and yeah.
Yeah,
Space David Warner cigarettes.
It's sloppy. Like, you can tell that there was problems.
It's a bad episode script.
Yeah.
Yes.
It shouldn't have even been an episode.
Stretched out. Really fucking long.
Very stretched out. Let's tack on some camping scenes to make this 90 plus minutes.
I know they approached Connery originally to play Sybok. They wanted him to play Sybok.
That's not shocking when you think of the guy who played Sybok.
Uh-huh. Well, Sean Connery.
Shakari.
Yeah, Sean Connery.
Why does God need a spaceship?
The show Strange New Worlds, the prequel to the Kirk Enterprise, actually introduced Sybok, and hopefully they flush out that character.
We're not gonna spend much time on this one here. Let's do some fucking
movie.
Scores.
35.
Yeah. 25.
All right. Being very
I'll go 30.
All right.
It's not
good. It might be my least fucking favorite.
This is the only one that I don't need to go into the calculator to get the average. We had 90, and 90 divided by 3 is 30. This movie is definitely 30. But they returned to form, I believe.
Yes.
Undiscovered Country was, I think, the first one I saw in theaters. Like, maybe the only one I saw in theaters from just the original cast. And I really, 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 really enjoy Undiscovered Country.
Yeah.
David Warner gets redemption as a really great Klingon. Christopher Plummer gets to play almost as good a Klingon as Christopher Lloyd did. Really great whodunit plot.
Yeah, you had Kurtwood. Kurtwood Smith.
Kurtwood Smith as the president of the Federation.
He didn't play a bad guy.
Yeah, very rare. Everything about this one hits on all cylinders. The only downfall I think it kind of has is like stunt casting like Iman, and she doesn't completely take out of it. Like, you just need someone beautiful to disarm Kirk.
Yes,
and she does a solid enough job.
I still hate the fact that this many films in, that's a thing that has to be done.
But sexy Kirk.
Yeah.
That was that.
It hurts the score for me on this one.
There were the fact that it take on bigotry. Racism still exists. That whole thing. It should.
I don't remember which of the Starfleet admirals the one black dude. That's Starfleet. Cartwright. That's right. He had popped up in a handful of other movies up to this point. He was a mainstay in the Federation, and he himself was a civil rights activist.
Yep.
And was kind of hung up on the notion that he's playing a bigot. Yep. But it was described to him like, dude, anybody can be ignorant.
You look at the thing between 5 and 6 is Kirk, when he said, I never trusted Klingons. But in the 5th one, he's just like, oh, Klingons, buddy. Well,
I don't know if it was buddy.
We need general cord.
We need some help here. And I'm gonna leverage you. When it comes to actually helping them, when it comes to saving the Klingon race, yeah, his bigotry kicks in a lot bit.
This one was one of DeForest Kelly's best performances. When he's being a doctor and going onto the ship and trying to save the patient.
This, and surprisingly, the moment that has the flashback in Final Frontier about his dad. That moment, the best moment of the whole fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
But Undiscovered Country, I'm giving, like Voyage Home, and unlike Kyle, I can give two movies the same number, 80.
I 80's fair.
Yeah.
I would give it higher, but again, we're how many films into this, and we still got to pretend like...
Pretend like what?
Like he's pulling fucking tail left and right like that. Come on, bro.
But I kind of like that fact that in this one, he didn't pull tail. Tail pulled him.
I know, but it's just like, we shouldn't we be done with that? That well's fucking dry. It's boarded up. Even the fucking bitch from The Ring isn't gonna live in it. Like,
no Samara coming out to kiss Kirk.
So this
So
one,
you going 80? You going 80 as well?
yeah, I'll give it an 80. I do like the movie.
I do enjoy it. I'll go 82 just because I have to be different.
You have to make me pull out the fucking...
All right, I'll go 80.
No, you said 80. 42 divided by 3. 80.66. I should have been able to figure that out in my head. It's not really hard math. But 80.66.
All right.
It was a good send-off for the crew. Justin, yeah.
Now Justin's bread and butter.
This shit's my jams.
But this jam, this first one don't have much jelly.
Dude, I love Star Trek Generations.
You love Generations?
I fucking love Generations.
There are elements I like. The stuff in the Nexus is very emotional.
It might be... This might have been the first Trek film that I saw and then went back. Out of order.
Okay.
This was the first one I saw in the movies.
I think that's another reason. And I think it is the first one I saw in theater.
I love this stuff on the Clipper ship.
Oh, yeah.
I love Data's arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shatner could have been better utilized.
Well, it sucks because there was so much that was supposed to happen, and it didn't happen that way. Like it was more supposed to be about him coming to terms with his retirement and not wanting to do it.
Didn't we already have this moment though?
Yes. But and also the fact that Chekhov was supposed to be Bones. Because
if you don't have the main three there, you're kind of missing something. And Nimoy didn't come back, so it's like, let's get to it.
It's clearly a fucking transition film.
Yeah. It's literally a handoff.
Yes.
It's the torch has been directly handed between the two of them.
Right.
Like you see the difference between how Kirk handles things and how Picard, like, so different.
Yeah, they're very distinct individuals. And Malcolm McDowell, for all the problems with this, does a damn fine job with his character.
Right?
Like he's lascivious, he's a bastard, but you get why he wants what he wants.
Yep.
And that moment on 10 Forward where he talks to Picard, like stops him in his tracks, and he's like, time is the ultimate thief, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like, after Picard had just heard that his entire fucking family died,
also,
this is not the conversation he wants to have.
Because of this movie, I became a big fan of Malcolm McDowell. He shows up in a lot of shit from our childhood. A few years back, he put out a Christmas podcast, but it was old school ghost stories, right? I could listen to that man fucking read the fucking Webster's Dictionary.
He's got such a good voice.
Oh, dude.
You really should watch Ghost Hunters if you haven't watched it yet. The one that Simon Pegg and Nick Frost wrote, where he plays Nick Frost's father.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm still kind of shocked that I've seen the live-action version of Fist of the North Star and you haven't. And he plays Nishiro's dad.
I didn't even know.
Right? 90s, baby. I give it a 60. I don't hate it, but it's got a lot of issues.
I love this fucking movie. It's 83.
It does have issues, but it does have there are a lot of positives with this movie. The Next Gen crew just knock it out of the park.
they don't get great until a little later.
Oh no, yeah, no, actually until
The next one.
Yeah.
To the next one.
I will give this a 83.
Oh, tandem.
Yeah. Like, Data getting the emotions was such...
Data with the tricorder.
Getting to see Brent Spiner do comedy.
And then him breaking down because he can't control.
Yep.
He was a pretty great part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Generations wasn't the best handoff, but it led to First Contact.
Yes.
Where we get
what was the combined?
Oh, sorry, about 75.33.
Not bad.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty respectable.
First Contact is, in my opinion, the best Star Trek film.
I do agree with you. This is the best acted.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty great.
I watch First Contact at least once a fucking year.
Like, the Borg are so... this is the best portrayal of the Borg.
They never looked better than this.
Yeah.
They never worked better than this. And I also love the fact that this is Picard's undiscovered country moment.
Yes.
Where his rationale gets thrown out the window because something personal that happened to him comes up. And now... And also the history. Learning the history of warp drive on Earth. The Zephyr Cochrane stuff is great. And splitting up the crew, having some of them down on Earth to deal with the problem that the Borg created, while having a couple of humans from Earth at that time, have one human from Earth at that time put up Alfre Woodard. Alfre Woodard is kind of the beating heart of that movie.
Yeah. Her and Patrick Stewart had great chemistry.
Yeah. This person who doesn't necessarily understand the situation that they're in, understands the ethics of the situation that they're in, is not afraid to stand up to Picard and be like, no, don't be a dick, do the right thing. One of the best scenes he's ever had.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, is in the Ready Room.
That and I love the big goodbye scene where he goes on the holodeck and is Dixon Hill with the Borg.
Oh.
And he just starts...
Great use of the holodeck.
Yeah.
All around one of the best. It does that one thing, though, that kind of pisses me off, where they introduce a new character with a new actor, and you're like, oh, I like that guy. Neil McDonough. He played Dumb Dugan.
Yeah,
oh, that guy's great. He's awesome. I hope he done, and he gets killed and turned into a boy.
Dead.
Mother.
Stimulate this.
Well, maybe one of the worst lines ever.
Yes, that whole movie.
I will give it an 80.
95, sir.
I'm gonna go with Justin on this one. This is it. The quintessential best Star Trek movie.
If you want someone to it's a jumping in point. If you've never seen it and you're just throwing on a fucking Star Trek movie, this is where I go.
Until Abrams got involved, this was the most action you're getting from Trek.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you also had oh my god, he played Will Ferrell's brother in Step Brothers. What's that? He's a comedic actor. He was in
John C. Reilly's
Recreation. He's one of the people on the crewman on the Defiant.
John C. Reilly's one of the
crewmen? No, not John C. Reilly. No, his actual brother.
Adam Scott. Adam Scott.
Yeah,
that's
Adam
right.
Scott.
He's the helmsman on the Defiant.
Yeah, he's in there for a hot second.
Yeah.
Dude, he pops up everywhere when he was on. He was on an episode of Boy Meets World we were watching over the weekend.
Yeah.
His first movie ever was Hellraiser 4. Dude, and he's just one of those guys who's like, yeah, that movie wasn't great, but I had a fucking great time. I appreciate everything I've ever been in. And the first thing I remember him in was Step Brothers, and I was like, I can't fucking stand this guy. And then you see every other thing he's in, he's like, no, he's just a really good actor.
He's not a bad guy.
He pulled off Prick so good in that movie, I thought he was an asshole. And then you see, Parks and Rec, and oh, what a sweet guy. Oh, no, he just deserves an Emmy. That gets a 90. Solid 90.
As it should.
Yes.
Now, here's a sticking point for a lot of people. Star Trek Insurrection. I argue Star Trek Insurrection is the most Trek movie ever. because it's got the best sci-fi plot. It's completely underrated.
Yeah.
It is underrated.
People shit on it for no reason. It has got an excellent sci-fi. It's the opposite of Final Frontier in that it's an episode that's stretched out, but done well.
It's the whole,
Prime directive. What is the prime directive when it's applied? What right do you have to mess with another society? And that flimsy ass argument, like, well, they're not natives of this planet. They already have this technology. We can come in and steamroll them if we want to.
I thought this was one of Frake's best acting.
Did he direct this one?
He directed this in First Contact.
Okay.
I hit him, and we got to see him and Troy get back together, which was great.
Yeah.
Well, that sparked up when they were sitting there, on the ship, right?
Yeah.
Starts tapping his. Yeah, that's a great moment in that. I on the show, I know that I hated that she was with Worf. I just didn't want it to last because I loved hers and Riker's relationship, but I didn't want Worf to get hurt because he doesn't deserve it.
Worf. Right.
Yeah, he's only doing it right, going about things the right way.
This one was the one where it felt forced that Worf was there, though.
Oh, that moment. Well, it felt forced that he was there in First Contact.
But it made sense. He was on the Defiant. He was commanded. The Defiant was battling the board. Why?
Yeah, why would the Defiant
look over there
at the border of Earth?
Yeah. Far away from
that
the
is
not.
Is that a bird?
But
yeah. Look, Worf.
This one was.
What was the rationale on this one? He just happens, he's just back on the crew. I think the rationale was the show was over.
Yeah. God, I don't even remember how. It was that bad. I don't remember why he was there.
I think you're misremembering. I think at that point the show was over, and they're just like, "Well, we gotta have Dorn. You can't not have Worf."
You have to have him.
So he just transferred again. He's like, "I want to go home."
It made sense why he was there in the next one, but in this one I don't remember. This one, but I liked Data's Pinocchio moments in this.
Yeah. Yeah, with Worf, it was like, I gotta go home. It's not like I have any family to worry about.
Yeah, it's just, well...
That was an Alexander joke.
Well, also, they killed his wife.
They killed his wife, but why didn't he fucking do anything with his son? The bastard seems to forget he's got a son.
Yep.
Every other day. He was kind of a boring kid,
Yeah.
His kid was fucking worthless, though.
One of the highlights, though, was Riker fucking ramming the
Riker maneuver?
Yeah, the actual Riker maneuver. Him ramming the freaking space satellite collector thing.
I'm gonna go. I enjoy it. I'm on the fence here. I think it should be 70 something. It shouldn't necessarily be in the 80s. Like, it's not as good as First Contact, but I enjoy it. I really think it's underrated. So I'm gonna go 75.
83.
That's a lot of love.
The next gen movies I love, dude.
I'll go with the 79.
Maybe not so much the last one.
See, this is where I disagree on that too. I think
I still like.
average.
Listen, I still like them, but if I'm ranking these four, Nemesis probably my least favorite.
Nemesis. Well, what was before I go into this rant? What was the average?
Total
79.
Okay.
Top generation, but does not come close to First Contact. Now, Nemesis, I think this one catches the most shit out of all of them. Like,
absolutely does.
It does.
They overlook Insurrection, but they poo-poo directly on this.
So what was supposed to happen with this is they went with somebody who the director was not Frakes. He directed the first two and he fucking killed it.
Yeah.
He knows the material, knows the source material, knows the actors, knows the characters. The person they picked to direct this has never watched Star Trek. This is a complete unknown, and you can tell.
You can fucking tell.
I don't know if I could say you could tell, but it would have benefited a lot from having a steadier hand.
Nah, bro, I really think you can tell. Because it's not even it doesn't feel like in line with most of the other. He directed Executive Decision and U.S. Marshals.
Okay, so he's an action-adjacent director. Those movies aren't necessarily action, but they're not plot-driven. They're thrillers.
Right.
He's a thriller director,
Yeah.
kind of action thriller.
And this was the last movie he directed.
Okay, that also says quite a bit.
Yeah.
It's just like
In different hands, this could have been like the end of a trilogy.
yes.
It breaks his hands. He could have had his Trek movie trilogy
Yep.
and sent them on their way in a much more positive manner.
Because Frakes basically right now in the Star Trek world is the Feige. He's the one they give a Star Trek show to direct and go, all right, bring your expertise into this.
He's the Favreau.
Yeah, he's the Favreau. Yes.
Yeah.
I love Hardy's performance in this. Hardy was really great in this movie.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Perlman. Let's put Ron Perlman under 20 pounds of makeup. But I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, he's going to knock it out of the fucking park.
The mindfuck scene?
Yeah, his arc with Troy, that was dark. And to get that little retribution from Riker fighting him, that was well earned. The Data shit. That was heart-wrenching.
It was heart-wrenching.
I don't shit on this movie as much as like the like the Trek fans love to. Again, I really enjoy all the Next Generation movies way more than the original crew.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one it's got its problems, and like Joe was saying too, you can tell that the director was not. You went from someone who's been in the fucking muck of it all to like this guy's like, yeah, I'll fucking do it.
Like that was if they gave it to Frakes, it could have been a better swan song for the Next Generation. But then I feel like their swan song was season 3 of Picard because that was.
Well, yeah, that was
the fact that they got Picard.
Yeah, it was the makeup.
Yeah. That whole series was a build up of a makeup too.
Yeah.
It's like first season's like, oh, we'll give you a couple, and we're not sure if we're going to give you a second season. The second season, oh, you're not going to really get Riker and Troy. You get a third season. Everyone,
Yeah,
even fucking Wesley.
Will Wheaton.
Dr. Wesley.
Wesley, the Time Lord.
Yep.
73 for me from Nemesis.
Wow, that's actually kind of high.
70.
We'll have to also say 70 with this because it just Data's saving Picard at the end was his sacrifice. It just felt.
It was touching, but it seemed like it didn't need to be.
No,
they were going for their Wrath of Khan.
Yes, and just
they should have gone about it a different way.
The movie doesn't have those moments where you you look back at the other movies like First Contact, Insurrection, Generations. I'm just going to say for the Next Generation ones, but like it doesn't have those moments.
Yeah. It's a very different thing.
The scene where the freaking bomb went off at the Romulan Empire, like you just went for shock value. Just watching, the arc opened up and now their faces are melting.
Yeah, it was the kind of horror moments that really didn't need to be. They were going for something scary that wasn't quite as scary.
Yeah.
Okay, so that one gets a 71.
Yeah.
Which, you know what, I think is pretty spot on.
Yeah.
It's not the shit that a lot of Trekkers will say, but it doesn't need to be upper echelon.
Yeah.
Now, theatrically, they took a little time off. Not a crazy amount of time off, because it was 2009 that they handed the reins over to JJ.
Yeah.
Yep. Star Trek 10.
Just straight up Star Trek. This one has no surname, no nothing else. It's just Star Trek. I fucking love this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
It does everything right.
Lens flares and all.
Yeah, I don't even mind the lens flares. I think they kind of set things up. I'm happy he backed the fuck off of him in the second one a lot.
Same.
Yeah.
Which might be the only endearing part of the second. But this one...
Chris Pine. My God.
He didn't do... he didn't do a Shatner.
No.
He made it his own. But he nailed the character.
He is everything you wanted him to be without trying to rehash everything that came before it. And Chris Pine is a pretty man.
Yeah, he's got them eyes, man.
Yeah.
Let's not discount Chris Hemsworth's setup.
No.
Yeah.
That opening sequence, I blubber every time I'm getting emotional thinking about that opening. So well choreographed, and the payoff there. When you hear Baby Jim Kirk cry, and you're looking at George, like, the sacrifice he had to make there, that moment is so deep and so poetically put together. And then everything else, the way it plays out, is just spot the fuck on.
Yep.
Quinto Spock. If you can't get Nimoy, if you can't get a 20-something-year-old Nimoy, Quinto.
Nailed it. That's right. Like,
Zoe Saldana, everybody, Peg, like everybody came to fucking
Carl Urban.
fucking Carl
Dr.
Urban.
McCoy.
He's the only one doing an impersonation, and he nails the impersonation by not necessarily doing DeForest,
Right.
but kind of doing McCoy.
He's so on with that character.
Space is darkness wrapped with death and disease. He delivers that line so fucking well. Oh, the late Anton.
Yeah.
Fucking, he was so great as Chekhov.
The cast that they nailed for the crew.
John Chu, right? Why can't I remember? John Chu is Sulu. It's just suave as fuck, like pulling off Sulu the way he needs to be. That fight scene on the laser deck, like everything, it's got action, but it's not too reliant on action. It Star Wars is up the trek, but it doesn't lose the trek.
Enterprise looked fucking beautiful.
That floating iPod is incredible, and the Nimoy of it.
The Nimoy.
Yeah.
With the exception of the fact that he was working with new dentures or veneers or whatever the hell he had going on there, that kind of stifled his ability to talk. He was so on point.
His line where he said, changing time, kind of cheating. I learned this from a friend, something like that.
And to get to see Kirk's Kobayashi Maru.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything about it is so fucking spot on. But I'm not going to blow it so crazy. It gets a 90. It's the highest out of all of them for me, because I feel like they took all the lessons from the other movies, and JJ added his own spice and made something truly magical with it.
This is my second favorite Trek movie. It's a 94. It gets one spot underneath Generations for me. Or not Generations. What the fuck did I give it?
Contact.
I think I gave Rapicon 87. So I have to go with 86. I don't like it. Rathacon is I'd still like better, just a little bit better. But this movie brought life back to Trek.
Yeah.
Okay, turns out I was completely accurate. 90.
Yeah.
Well earned 90. Now, only a couple years later, JJ came back to make another Star Trek movie, and I'll just lead into this with every time we talk about JJ's Star Trek movies and Star Wars movies. I say he was in there in the pre-production on this movie. He was filming it, and he's like, "Oh, I got so many good ideas. You know what? We'll fix this while we're filming. We'll fix this in post." And he was on set one day, and someone from Disney called him up, and they were like, "Hey, JJ, how you want to make Star Wars? How'd you like to make a Star Wars movie?" And he forgot what the fuck he was doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
He just stopped giving a rat's ass about Trek and focused on Star Wars, because this movie is nothing but problems.
This was one of the few times in a movie theater I actually yelled out. When you hear, my name is Khan, I yelled, no, why? No, I was so upset.
I'm almost positive when we were talking about the trailer for this thing on the show, we were like, He's Khan.
I was so...
Yeah. We were saying he's Khan. I believe I was saying I hope he's not. I hope at most, I hope he is another eugenics
Yes, that would
patient.
make way more sense.
I've probably laid this out on the show too. How great would it be if he was like Khan's brother?
This is a conversation we've had like 13 fucking years ago.
Yes.
But I then and there was like, no, dude, he's Khan.
Yes.
But Spock going back in time will not change somebody from Latin to British.
Ricardo Musselman.
Not just that. Like that's a sloppy move to begin with. And if you really want Cumberbatch and you really don't want him to do an awkward accent, you just change who he is and you make part of the focus that, okay, he's dangerous. He's really dangerous. But he wants to get to his other eugenics family members, his brothers and sisters. And if he gets to Khan, then you're really fucked. If there's him plus Khan and maybe others out there, then shit's scary.
You just wrote a better movie than Star Trek 2, too.
Yeah. And then throwing the Tribbles in there, making the Tribbles the fucking fountain of youth, do that. When they drop that in like the second act, like, oh, these things have amazing healing abilities. I was like, oh, that's the way they're going to save somebody. That's the way they're going to save somebody, by ripping off Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
In the laziest ways ever. Like, the action was fine, but it was very much a repeat. The scene where Khan and Kirk have to fly through the debris field to get to the other ship.
It was a remake.
Yeah. It was a remake of a remake with remake elements from the previous movies.
Yeah.
Yep. They swore up and down it wasn't a remake,
Yeah.
and it was a remake.
This is why anytime anybody in Hollywood says it's not the thing that you're accusing them of, anytime anybody says this shit in the public eye, don't trust them.
Yeah, it's the thing. Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it wasn't so good looking,
it is. It's fucking gorgeous.
That whatever I don't remember the name of the ship. That monster that they created, that RoboCop's flying.
Yeah.
Looked incredible.
Oh, the whatever. Dreadnought, I think it was. The Dreadnought class, I think was his. Peter Weller was good in it. He was a dick, but he was good.
He had that great moment where he's like, oh, now I gotta kill you. I love when a villain's always just like, oh, man, now I gotta kill you.
Like, you threw Carol in there. Carol was just in there just for eye candy.
Another one where we're going to make her British?
Yeah, exactly. Spock going back in time will not change that.
Yeah. And then Spock going back in time will not change what Klingons look like.
Yes. Again, because we got that.
They look like fucking armadillos.
That design was not good.
That was not good.
It's already hard enough for people to act with that forehead prosthetic. Now you cover their entire face with like scales and ridges and shit. They're only there for like 5 minutes, and they're there for an action set piece. Sure, fine, whatever. But you take away any expressiveness by doing that crap design that alters history.
That's what they said. Abrams' biggest thing from the first one was just like, where are the Klingons? Where are the Klingons? And then we got that.
Yeah. For looks alone, I give this a 45.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like I'm being kind.
I would. I mean, look, I don't like this movie, but I wouldn't go that low.
It deserves that low.
Especially
coming off of the previous one.
It's gorgeous.
Literally half the movie the other one was.
It's gorgeous. I'll at least a 50.
I'm going to have to go with the 45 because I would left this theater so disappointed. Like the fact that we had Kirk die instead of Spock, and God,
it's forced.
Quinto did that. Like, no.
This gets a 46.66, and barely.
Just
fucking barely.
All right, last ups, buds.
Last up, unfortunately, it turns out Justin has not seen this one.
I've not seen Star Trek Beyond.
And I'm annoyed with myself because it's in my Apple list. I
have Paramount Plus. Like, I have access to it.
You have the options.
It comes down to Into the Darkness burned me, and then I saw the trailer for what could be considered motocross Trek.
Oh, BMX Bandit Star Trek.
Yeah.
Well,
and I was just like,
only one scene.
I don't know.
This one? No, go ahead.
This is a reprieve.
Yes.
I
This
like Justin
felt-
Lin as a director.
Yeah, does a strong job.
Yeah.
This felt the most like an extended Star Trek episode.
Yeah, and not as good as like Insurrection was, I'd say, but not the unfortunate mess that Final Frontier is.
I mean,
You can
Simon Pegg helped write it. He was one of the
Yes.
screenwriters.
you can see his influence on this movie a lot.
Everyone's strong as hell in it. Everyone gets a lot more to do in it. Like in the first one, in the first Calvin one, everyone. That's one of the most fun things for me. Everyone has an important thing to do to make sure that plot happens. Everyone at some point makes a decision that saves the day, or it moves someone in a position to save the day. Everyone gets to have a moment, and everyone gets to have a moment in this one too. I don't even remember the second one well enough to give a shit about what anyone did in that. This one, everyone's involved, and everyone does a great job, and Idris Elba played a really strong villain in this,
do like
even though you don't
Idris.
see him most of the time under the makeup.
I do enjoy him.
He,
That's another thing that annoyed me about it, though. You take a beautiful, beautiful man like Idris
I know you're
Elba,
Bernardining this.
and you fucking...
but you.
That's the reason why he took it, though. Because every movie he's in, everyone wants to see his face. He's like, "Yo, I get to do this makeup shit."
No,
I
get why he wants to do it. Like, good on him.
There's reasoning behind it.
Yeah, it's one of the better sci-fi elements of the whole deal.
Yes.
And it builds off of a lot of the shit, and it builds off of the events of of '09. Like what the target is in this thing.
This one,
the station. The station's a great idea.
Station!
The MacGuffin's a cool thing. The opening sequence with the creatures that Kirk has to go interact with.
and he loses his shirt.
Yeah, great concept. Like, great misdirect. It's really, really well done. And it's a strong... If they had just cut Into Darkness out, they would have had two really great movies.
The fact that the two tributes, there was a subtle one and an actual one. After Nimoy passed, they did the tribute, and you actually saw the original crew in this movie. You know, and then the subtle one at the end, the shot of it's a longer on Antone during the crew at the end.
Really solid. We're definitely worth checking out one day.
It's a fun movie.
I go 79 because it's not as great as some of the other ones, but it's head and shoulders above Into Darkness, and it's upper echelon track.
Yeah.
I will be implementing the new system that I talked to Mike about for people who haven't watched a movie but you have to have seen a fucking trailer.
Okay.
Based on the burn I got from Into the Darkness and the fact that the trailer was a bit too Fast and the Furious for my trek, I'll give it a 60. There's some intrigue, but a bit hesitant.
Having Pines, there's a scene where Pine has a Shatner moment when he does something.
Fucks an alien?
No, he does something catastrophic.
You did that in the first one.
Yeah,
he did.
I was going to say.
He does something catastrophic, and they cut to him. It's just like, what have I done? He has that parallel to Star Trek. Not the movie.
No.
He doesn't go, oh, no. I think he turns to everyone and is like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
A captain who has to admit they've failed.
Yep. I enjoyed Star Trek Beyond because Into Darkness was fucking awful.
I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go because I'm a completionist and I hate when I don't finish series of things. That's what made me get through House of the Dragon.
If you like Simon Pegg, like his writing,
I do like Simon Pegg.
You'll enjoy this one because he had a huge hand in this movie.
He permeates throughout this.
Yeah.
He didn't get to save Into Darkness. I think they brought him in too late on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not even credited.
Yeah.
This one, you can tell he did I thought he did a great job with it.
What's your number, Joe?
84.
All right. 2, 3, 3 divided by 3. 77.6666666.
Okay, that's good for the Trek. Hopefully, there will be more Trek movies, and not
I
ones that are.
I am very happy that Vinny was not here.
He would have steamrolled this.
Oh,
Torpedoed the fuck out of it.
yeah.
This has been a very well thought out and measured Retrospective. I'm so happy I got that word out twice without tripping over it. I hope you enjoyed our take on stuff we did not create, but have very, very strong opinions on. YouTube.com nerdities, all the socials, NERDATIES. Put on that last S for savings.
What did you? Do we not do a normal?
I don't think we do a normal one on this. You can go. I mean, like we got some time.
I mean,
the next show, and there's not much to talk about.
I mean, I've got some shit I can launch into.
Yeah, I got some reviews.
Yeah, me too.
News is very slim.
I got an okay amount of news. It's not like nothing knocking down the. Well, I mean, there's the big cast release that was done yesterday that I'm sure we're going to spend a little bit of moment on because, you know, the internet.
Where's the internet? Okay, so when Kyle usually says nerdies.com.
Yeah, Kyle says the stuff. I say the stuff. ProWrestlingTees.com/nerdities. Buy them shirts. New series dropping Memorial Day weekend. Our scripted, unscripted D&D wrestling campaign. Dubs.
For life.
A labor of love, for sure. I am so proud of everybody that is involved in it.
I've started designing my t-shirt.
I did put out a call to everyone to start designing merch. Kyle has designed for everybody already.
For each of us, or he's got an EPW design?
He has a EPW design for each one of his characters already.
Okay, his characters.
Yeah.
So I'm just doing for one of mine.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's Kyle.
Oh, that's very Kyle. That's a very Kyle move. Turn the key and watch him go.
So, it is obviously Mike, myself, Kyle. We wanted Joe involved, but he's a bitch. So I play Joe. When his character appears, you know Joey Whitebread from his Nerdities wrestling promos. That's who I am. Great theme.
Wonder Boy Whitebread.
Great theme song, "Glory Days" by Bruce Springsteen. We don't have to worry about music licensing bullshit because it's free and we don't make any money off of this. So, eat me. Joining us from the Exposing James podcast in our lineup.
You know and love, apparently.
Yes, they do fucking love Exposing James. James.
Exposing. We're going to bring Exposing on the show. You'll get to meet Exposing.
Former intern Kelly and her husband, who might be the fucking biggest surprise of them all.
This is the one overlap where you two, this is the reason you actually love him.
This video game and anime is our bonding, right? But
I would say bondage.
Can I fucking I can't wait for people to listen to him and the characters he came up with. When we started planning this, and I was like, all right, everybody's got to send me their character bios and all this stuff. Everybody's in charge of a male singles wrestler, a female singles wrestler, and a tag team to help, bolster the roster, because, I have mental disorders from playing 40-something other characters on the show. The shit he came up with.
It's not PC, that's for sure.
No, even their theme song isn't. But I think that leans into it. It's fucking great. I'm super proud. We record again this weekend, another set of shows. I think we should be done with the campaign come July, but the episodes will air for 30 weeks. An episode a Sunday.
5
episodes, 6 batches. So yeah,
counts 30 to me.
30 weeks. You get 30 weeks of EPW. I hope everybody enjoys it. It is. Yes, it's wrestling. Yes, it's Dungeons and Dragons. But the story and the fucking timing like, comedic timing in the promos is really what fucking kills. I find myself forgetting I'm editing when I listen back. And I'm just like, oh, that's fucking cool. Even though I wrote this, like, hearing it all played out. Like, Mike's got his women's wrestling character should be like a fucking beast, and I'm not going to spoil anything else. But there's been circumstances that have led to, like, one of my favorite oopsie storylines that I've had to throw together, and I cannot. It really is like a choose your own adventure at this point, because his reaction's going to be what it is, and it'll dictate what happens from that point. But fuck me, it's great.
And my main character inadvertently is essentially a clone of a character that already existed.
And has existed for like 20-something years.
So they've had to interact, or Justin has set up a moment where they interact.
Yes, I did.
Basically carbon copies, and that's my favorite moment. Because there's scripted elements, much like wrestling. There's story elements that are scripted, but we don't have scripts.
Yeah.
We have to shoot from the hip when it comes to promos.
I'm telling you now, I wish I could get graded on a promo, but I can't because I'm the writer. There's a promo coming up Saturday to kick everything off that I should get a fucking daytime Emmy for.
You get a Slammy?
I haven't written, there's nothing written. There's 3 bullet points to it, but I've gone over it in my head so many times now that I'm like, oh, this is going to be fucking tasty. Yeah. We also helped James because he used ChatGPT to create stuff. And I am very happy with Mike and I and the help we gave him and the fact that he got really into it. And he's been texting me about that character now. And
good.
Fucking, yeah. I'm excited. You guys should be excited. It's a really good show. Joe, what else do we got coming down the fucking...
Check us out on youtube.com, youtube.com/nerdities. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to all things nerdities. And remember, you can watch, the guys watch Star Trek on YouTube.
People have.
2 different versions. One I was not able to say Star Trek, and one I can say Star Trek.
Why, Joe?
Because I lost a bet.
That's right, you did lose a fucking bet.
I can't believe it's been so long since that bet's been over.
I know.
Imagine this with the bet. That would have been awful. No.
Oh, that's so good. I have to get Vinny into a bet where he can't talk about JCVD, and then we do the fucking retrospective of the Van Damme timeline.
We're gonna have to thin down the Van Damme timeline because we'll stick with the rules because there's so many of his movies that never went to the theater.
Yep, a lot of direct-to-video.
Yeah.
Nothing after '95, it would seem.
Yeah.
You could watch The One Above All on YouTube now, and we're also looking forward to shooting season 2 of Nerd ETs
in
soon.
like 2 weeks or something. Right?
Yeah. That will be theme park themed.
Yeah, it's a theme park season, baby.
And
a real May the 4th special this time.
A real one that will actually air on May
that'll air in time.
Timing isn't everything, but it is everything.
Yeah.
All right, that is all of our stuff, yes?
No, we got a Halloween special, we got a Christmas special, we have a new 100 list with a special, very fucking special guest. A guest so special, I never thought I'd get him on the fucking podcast.
We almost got my special guest once years ago, but
yeah,
he had to leave as we were doing the opening. But your special guest, I never thought we'd get him.
Yeah, and he's so fucking into it.
This is so insane.
Oh, it's so fucking good. I cannot fucking wait.
I'm calling it right now. He's going to say the sentence, "Is this really what you guys do?"
Remember, we used to record in the house. He knows what we do.
Yeah, but it's been a while.
He's watched Trivia Night.
Also, do you think he was paying attention?
He's watched Trivia Night. He's an avid Trivia Night watcher.
Okay, so that is everything, right? Except for we are writing a movie eventually.
Movies.
Toss around ideas. Movies. We've just got so many other things going on that we're backburnering them a bit. We're ruminating concepts.
We're in a bit. I feel like we're on fire though. Once we get through that fucking Christmas special, which is also, I cannot fucking wait for that. I think we should just fucking keep the momentum going. You and I are on this like tear where like we hit these little arguments, but then so much amazing comes out of it.
Well, we throw a bunch of clay at the wire and then start to figure out what the shape of it is.
Yeah.
Then we start to massage the clay.
Oh yeah.
Or shit, or whatever.
With our
whatever
dicks.
viscous substance you want to talk about. Okay, the opinions of nerdy screw are idiotic and employees that have or next to far more insulting.
Because of the end of civilization, the Clamp Cable Network now leaves the air. We hope you have enjoyed our programming, but more importantly, we hope you have enjoyed life.